Hi there, this is Lynn Allen. Welcome to another AutoCAD tip courtesy of Cadalyst magazine. To start off with, we need to have a shout out to all of our good friends on the East Coast. I'm hoping that you are all somehow surviving and picking up the pieces after the horrible storm. I'm really so sorry. So maybe this AutoCAD tip will cheer you up a little bit, a tiny bit anyway. So today we're going to be talking about a couple of system variables that I think might be handy for you to learn. Last week we talked about a way to control your system variables. Do you remember that? To set them, to take a look at what the settings are. We did that in sysvdlg, because I can't say that command, right? Sysvdlg. So, which is an express tool, which is a great way to set up your system variables and save your system variables. So I'm going to talk to you about a couple of them, which you could set in sysvdlg, or you can set them directly. It's completely up to you. The first one, if you take a look in the lower right-hand corner of the screen, you'll actually see that I have this bubble that says that my plot and publish job is complete. And there's a variety of things that you do inside of AutoCAD that causes these bubbles to pop up on the screen. Now, I happen to know that some of you do not like the bubbles. You are not bubble friendly. So let me give you this tip. When I run around doing my tips and tricks classes, for some reason people love this. There's a system variable called trait notify. And if you set that to 0, the bubbles will not appear anymore. In fact, it even took it away as I was working on it. As I said it, right? No more bubbles. They're gone. No more. And so that seems to be very popular. So you might want to set that to 0 if you are anti-bubble. You know who you are. And then the other one is if you think you're an expert. Do you think you're an expert? I'm not sure if I'm an expert, but I bet you think you're an expert maybe. If you do, did you know that there is a system variable called expert? So I'm going to go into the expert system variable, and then I'm going to hit F1. For those of you who didn't use my other tip about setting F1 to escape, I'm going to use F1 so it shows me the help file. And if you take a look in the help file, it shows you what the different settings are for expert. So right now I have expert set to 0, so I don't think I'm an expert. But there are a variety of different settings that allow you to suppress prompts. Just like trait notify allowed you to suppress the bubble, expert allows you to suppress the prompts. So for example, if you set expert to 1, if you take a look at the screen, you'll see that it suppresses about to regen. If you've ever gotten that prompt because you did something that was about to do a regeneration, you will never see that prompt again. It's just going to go ahead and do the regen, which is probably what you want it to do anyway. And that's from the old days when regens used to be slow. Hey, they're not even slow anymore, right? Or if you're using the command line interface for the layer command and you try to turn the current layer off, it usually issues you this warning. Are you sure you really want to turn that off? So if you set experts 1, it's not going to ever ask you that again either. And you can go through here and you can take a look at all of the different settings. I'm just going to show you setting number 4 because I'm going to actually set it to that. The higher the number, the more prompts will be suppressed, right? So if you set it to 2, it's going to suppress the block already defined prompt and whatever number 1 was, which is about to regen, and the do you really want to turn the current layer off? If you set it to 3, it's an accumulation of all of the prompts above. So you can't just set it to 3 and just have it affect line types. If you take a look at that, it's going to also suppress the other 2 prompts above it. All right, so it graduates, goes through, and continues to suppress more and more prompts. So if you take a look at 4, you'll see suppresses the preceding prompts and those issued by the UCS save and the viewport save. So if you try to rename a UCS using the same name, it's going to let you know, hey, that we already know that it will tell you that that particular UCS that you tried to save, that name already exists. So you could suppress that prompt. I'm only picking on that one. I'm not saying you should. Depends on how much of an expert you think you are, but because I'm going to show that one to you. All right, so let me show you what I'm talking about, all right? And all of these kind of follow the same concept. All right, let's close that up. And let me go into the UCS command and we'll do a save. And I've already saved one called Cadalyst before I join you. So I can do Cadalyst and type this in here and you'll see it says, hey, the UCS name Cadalyst already exists. Do you want to replace it? So if I decide that I'm an expert, I can get rid of that prompt. Let's get rid of it. Let's go into expert. If you recall, that setting was 4, which will suppress a whole bunch of prompts, right? Now let me try that again. I'm going to go back into the UCS command and I'm going to do save. And I'm going to type in Cadalyst, the exact same thing I did before. Oh, doesn't warn me at all. It just overwrites the existing UCS that I've already saved. It's done. If I think I'm an expert, I don't need it to prompt me. I don't need it to remind me that that saved UCS already exists by that name, right? So just something for you to think about. I know some people are really, really into expert mode. Maybe that will become you. So take a look at expert, set it to the way that works for you. Get rid of those bubbles in the lower right-hand corner, and you should be a happy AutoCAD user. one would hope. All right, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you back here in 2 more weeks.